Hi and welcome to another video, and in this video I want to go over a beautiful build that I just finished, a oak nightstand, floating nightstand. I used a lot of different techniques, new techniques. I will show you all the techniques that I used to create this nightstand and also a new setting. I'm going to explain this in a voiceover setting so I can explain actually what I'm doing, which is new for me. If you follow me along for a longer period of time, you know I don't do voiceover that much. So this is a new setting and I hope you like it. So let's jump into the video and let's get started. So first of all, I started with the same technique how you build a boat. I just designed ribs, so basically the front of the cabinet, and then cut it in slices until you reach the width of your desired cabinet. So I cut it all the ribs on a CNC. You can also make one very good version, and that basically copy paste on your router table. You don't need to have a CNC to do this operation. Now what I do suggest is a alignment pin, which I created in Fusion in this drawing as well, and that helps you to align your pieces very easily together, and they're all basically straight away in the correct position. Another thing, if you glue MDF, or which I used here, MDF, if you glue MDF, it takes the moisture out of the glue quite fast. So you need to do 5 pieces together, make sure they already perfectly align, and then do another 5, and then do another 5. So with MDF, take your time, do it in pieces, and then stick them all together. So let's jump straight away in another thing that I learned on my previous build. I didn't clean that much with a wet cloth. When you're gonna sand MDF or plywood, it is softer than your glue. So if you're gonna come in with your sander, then there's a possibility of sanding your MDF away and not the glue. Just after the glue up, clean it all up so it's already nice and flush. For the front, this time I used a solid oak piece, which I cut it on my CNC. Again, you can do the exact same thing here with a handheld router. You just take one of the ribs, so one of your ribs that you use for a carcass. You take the outside measurement, cut that out on a solid oak piece, and then you can cut out a pocket on a variety of ways. What I did then, I used a drill bit, an oversized drill bit, to just drill a hole where the drawer eventually will be. So it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be super clean, but you need to have a hole that is big enough for your router bit, and you stick it over your router bit and then flush trim it with the pocket where your drawer will be eventually. Now there is a very important tip that I show here. I didn't cut everything away, and that is, if you do that, you have a piece that is sitting loose in a closed area, and there is a router spinning 16,000 RPMs, which is not safe. So another technique that I implemented in this build is using a vacuum press to press the veneer on the outside of the carcass. I'm using flex veneer, which is super flexible. It is basically a broken grain on cardboard, super thin cardboard. So it already works super easy, but I wanted to check out if a vacuum bag is faster and cleaner than contact cement or contact glue that I used in my previous build. And I can say after I've been doing all of this, this is easier, it's cleaner, but it takes longer because you have to do it in 2 segments. You can't do it all the way, everything in once. So I do the half, so the top, so that's sitting perfectly. And then when that's set roughly 2 hours, I take it out of the bag, and then basically I just flip it, what I don't have on footage here, and then I cut it straight. So there's a straight line, so I overlap it, cut a straight line with a straight edge, glue it all in, and put it back in the vacuum bag, set it on the pressure, and then you're good to go. It is a very clean job. I would say contact glue works also pretty well, but this is, I would say, a better controlled way of gluing your veneer to your workpiece, to your project. So with the outside carcass done, I could then focus on the drawer. And what I also did different here, I cutted my drawer front on the CNC, which was a very easy task because I already have everything designed in Fusion. Speaking of the design, I am willing to send you the plans that I have for this, so you can change the measurement, and you can create your own nightstand like this, because basically you need 3 main files, which is the carcass ribs, the front, and the drawer front, and the rest is basically easy because that's basically a box. So with the drawer front done, carcass done, it was time to focus on the drawer itself, which is the box. I'm using Blum hardware, and underneath drawer slide, it was time to cut everything in the right shape. So everything was planed down, milled down to the right measurement, and then I started cutting everything in the right length on my table saw. And with the 2 drawer boxes in the right measurement, I set them always on my table. If I do dovetails, if I do box joints, which I will do here, I like to set them as how I will mount them, and then I take them over to in this case, to my box joint jig from Jessam, and I just rip out all the box joints, so I know everything fits how I want it and how I matched the drawers together. It was a easy task. Doing these box joints now for the second time. I also did it in the previous build, and they look great. I think it's a great joint. I really like the looks of it, and it goes way easier than cutting dovetails. So I using the jig, as I mentioned, on my router table, and that's super convenient. Just you can bring it on your router table, and you can do the box joints quite easily. So if you want to know more about this jig, I also made a video about it. Check my videos if you want to know more about this jig. So there are a lot of ways to install a drawer side or a drawer bottom, and I figured out that for me this is the most convenient way. I'm cutting a groove roughly 6 millimeters on the sides, and then I take off, in this case I'm using a MDF veneered bottom. I take off a rebate on the edges on the outside of the drawer bottom, on the bottom side. So that makes it super easy because I can match the groove with the rebate that I'm taking off, and I don't have to fit that all 10 millimeters in the side, because these drawers are not thick and very beefy. I like to do it this way, super convenient, and also saves another task of doing all your sides twice or 3 times against your router table, at least for me, because I have a groove bit that goes to 12 millimeters. So I like to do 6 groove on the side, and then I match my drawer bottom on the right thickness of the groove. And it was then time to install the hardware, which is from Blum in this case. I think it almost works all the same. What I do a lot of rips on the bottom with the saw blade, the height, that is the exact height of the bottom of the drawer bottom, if that makes sense, and just take them over my table saw, do a lot of cuts, and then remove that with a screwdriver, flush trim it with a flush trim bit. So what I also did in this build, I had a new jig in the shop, which is from Blum as well. They supply a lot of jigs, by the way. So that makes it very easy to center or to locate that small tiny hole on the backside of your drawer, and that's very important because you want to have that snug. I notice if that is too loose, your drawer has a little bit of movement, and I don't like that. So I have a perfectly hole on the backside of your drawer front that fits the exact size of the pin of the drawer slide, and that goes well. That goes very well. So that's an easy jig that speeds up the process as well. Now, if I supply the drawings to you, I want to say one thing. I will do one thing differently that I did in the previous build, but I didn't do in this build. What I did in the previous one, I took out a pocket on the sides in the carcass rib on the drawing, and that allowed me to make a solid strip on both sides. So a solid wood strip on both sides in the carcass. And I use that to screw on the drawer slides. In this case, I'm doing the drawer slides straight away to the MDF, and this is end grain MDF. So afterwards, I do regret this. It did work. I took some longer screws for this operation as well. It should be all good, but if you want to do it perfectly, I would do it the other way, which I did in the previous build. Just take out on every rib a small pocket. And then when you glue them all together, you create a very long pocket, and you glue in 6 millimeter solid wood strips. And that is a way sturdier way of installing your drawer slides in the carcass. So there are two more things that I need to do on this build, and that is LED lighting, and also I needed to do the installation, or I need to create something so I can hang it on the wall. Since these things are gonna hang on a concrete wall, I will use very solid anchors for in concrete 12mm steel anchors, because this thing is, with everything assembled, pretty heavy. So I wanted to be sure that everything would stay on the wall. And how I did that, I basically cut out a rebate or a pocket on the backside of the cabinet, and I matched that height with a solid oak strip on the backside as well. I took that out with a handheld router and I glued that strip in place. I used long screws to reinforce it, and that makes it very strong to drill 2 holes, 12mm as I mentioned, to hang it on the wall. So the last thing for this particular build is installing a LED strip. So you don't need to use a shaper for this operation. You can do with a normal drill bit, a Forstner bit. Shaper is obviously helping you a lot with getting the exact snug fit that I wanted. So yes, it works very nice, but you don't need to have a shaper for this operation, so don't get me wrong. There is another thing that I want to share. The drawers are not all the way to the back. So these particular cabinets are 400mm in total width from the wall to the front, and the drawers are 320mm. So the rest is space for the screws, for the anchors, for the wires, and you need that. So don't make drawers from the front to the back, which you almost always do with a cabinet, and here you needed to have that extra space. So that's a thing that you need to keep in mind when you're going to make your drawers. So this is a whole new setting of making a video like this with a voiceover. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. You learned something from it. If so, subscribe if you didn't do already. I would highly appreciate that. And if not, also perfectly fine. And hopefully I see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.